All right, one of the most common things that you'll find yourself needing to do is taking data that runs in rows and turning it into columns, and taking columns and turning them into rows. And that's where Proc Transpose comes into play. Proc Transpose, I'll be honest with you, is a complicated procedure. Almost every time I use it, I have to go relook up the syntax. But here it is in a nutshell. Proc Transpose, data equals, just like every other procedure, the input data set. Out equals, this is going to be the output transpose data set. You have some options to prefix the columns if you're taking skinny data and turning it wide. The prefix or suffix option is quite useful. It matches to the ID variable, right? So the variable name you want to use, it's not the variable name for your columns, but it's the contents of that variable will be used to create the column names. Var tells you which variables you want transposed and basically controls what is flipped. And transpose will go both directions. It'll go take skinny data, turn it wide, take wide data, and turn it skinny. Let's go see it in action. All right, here I am in SAS Studio. For this one, I'm going to go and import some data. I'm going to use our NVIDIA data set again. Here it is, open, high, low, close, volume adjusted close. Just to give you a little flavor, SAS can do SQL, as you may or may not know. I'm going to go ahead and just create another data set for monthly average price of NVIDIA. So here I've got month number 1 through 12, the average price of that stock for those months, and that's for 2017. All right, let's get into Proc Transpose. If I just specify Proc Transpose data equals that NVIDIA data set, out equals my transposed, let's see what we get. Well, we get month number and price, the two columns that were in the input data set now get flipped and turned into rows, and the columns run across the top. So we're getting close to what we want. We want mean price as our one row, and then every column, this would be January, February, March, right? So let's go and see if I can control that. So let's just specify mean price. So now I just have one observation, the mean price. I got rid of our month number running down. That's helpful. If I specify ID, that's going to use the contents of that variable as my column name. So let's go see what that looks like. And you'll notice in order to make it a valid column name, SAS will prefix numerics with an underscore. So we have underscore 1, 2, underscore 2. So we're getting closer. We'd like this to say month 1, month 2, month 3. To do that, I use the prefix option. And we run that, and now I'm getting what I want. The mean price for January, February, March, all the way across. Pretty useful. Now, suppose the reverse is true. I get a data set with 12 months of data that I want to flip downwards. Well, that's pretty easy. We'll just reverse the process. We'll take that data set and specify a new data set and call it out. And let's see what that produces. Bang. It just took the wide data set and made it skinny. That's the nuts and bolts of Proc Transpose. And really, that's about all you'll ever really need to know with that procedure. But you'll get to play with it and use it in some of our upcoming. Okay, now you try. I went ahead and I created a CSV file for the S&P 500 monthly average prices. So spy_monthly.csv. Go ahead and import that. Then you're basically going to follow the exact same pattern that I did. Unlike what I did is that you're also going to use month and year as part of your ID variables. and see what that produces. So do a straight transpose, add the var, and then add an ID variable for month and year. Prefix it with month year and see what happens. And then see if you can flip it back down. Happy transposing.